Today on the channel, we continue our decluttering of the subconscious mind with a slightly older G.I. Joe classified series review. We're looking at the Cobra Claw on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I. Joe classified series review. This time we're looking at number 152, Cobra Pilot and Cobra Claw, Covert Light Aerial Weapon. I've had this figure sitting in the wings, waiting in the wings for a while. I got it, along with my buddy Phil at Crossfire Collectibles when the Claw came out. I'm just getting around to getting it up, getting a review in. I realize plenty of people have done the review, but this is my turn. I'm doing it now. We have a bunch of G.I. Joe Classified Series reviews coming up, so I want to get some of the older stuff out of the way. And so there you go, the Claw. Cobra Claw, originally introduced in 1984. Cool vehicle. I associate it a lot with two characters in particular, Cobra Commander and Storm Shadow. Although it comes with this female Cobra air trooper, I guess we'll call her, which is a figure that is also from a growing line of female Cobras. Cobra apparently has a lot of females. That's all good. I'm cool with that. But we're going to check out the Claw, as we always do. We're going to look at the package, see if there's any, what I will call Easter eggs, and get her out, play around with it, give you some final thoughts, get you back to your day. So starting with the packaging, we've got our standard G.I. Joe Classified Series vehicle packaging. Even though figures have gone into the universal boxes, the vehicles are still being packaged like the second round of G.I. Joe Classified Series boxes, the quote-unquote plastic free style. They're good looking boxes. So I don't see any reason really, I guess, to change that. So you do have a couple of Easter eggs on here. You got the Rattler, which of course we know, it's not really much of an Easter egg. The Rattler was a C.L.A.W campaign that is now released. I didn't get one of those, so I won't be decluttering the subconscious mind on that. Then in the background, we've got G.I. Joe headquarters from the cartoon, which is a much larger version of the G.I. Joe headquarters playset from 1983. And the Claw looking pretty cool there. I don't know if there's any other true Easter eggs. They all look like the same thing. 3 claws with the same driver on it. I don't see anything else. So you got your pilot figure on the right, the carbon fiber on the top with the 152. Got your file card symbols on the side along with your QR code to nowhere. You got your artist rendition of the Claw pilot, which almost looks like could be a man in this picture, but it's a woman. And your tail of the tape on the back, which I do miss on the new packaging. I think they should have some kind of way kept that. We're still given the measurements of the figures and stuff like we were on the, phase 2 packaging, but only when it comes to like a vehicle or something. But you got some nice inserts in here, Claw, different wing configurations, and all your stuff. You get the Uzi, you get the submachine gun from the Hiss tank. So it's been a while since we've seen that. Your usual 3 heads for the Valkyrie body even though this figure has is a lot more like the ferret pilot. Get a pistol, some blast effects for the turbines, and a figure stand. So that's pretty cool. Your file card symbols are fixed wing pilot 1, light weapons 1, covert operations 1, and where's that stealth 1, and aerial combat 1. So there's our look at the packaging. We're going to get the claw out, put it together, check it out. We have our claw and our Cobra pilot out with all the accessories that it comes with. A lead here. Slightly off screen is the figure stand. So I guess put that in there so you can see everything. And the claw is very easy to assemble. Nothing to it. If you had a claw back in the day, you kind of already know what to do. And I think it looks pretty cool. One of the things I think that they upgraded a little bit was back in the day, the claw was supposed to kind of have like a drone mode, I believe, to where it wasn't, it didn't have to be piloted. And they sort of added to that idea with the turret. So back in the day, it was just a box with a gun on it. But now you have like this free roaming turret that changes directions. And I don't know how a driver would do that. Seems like a drone thing, but I do like it. I like the addition. It's got 4 wheels. It's got foldable ailerons for storage. You got your foldable ailerons on the sides and on the back. Like I said, your turret does articulate, and it seems like it has like a little drone kind of deal. Still, that idea is still there. On the bottom, you got the harness for the character to go in. We know the female fits in there, but I want to see if a male fits in there because people seem to have had some trouble with that in some reviews I saw a couple of months ago. I want to see what I can do with it. But, it's one of those vehicles that you could get at Rite Aid. That's what I always call them, Rite Aid vehicles. And not to say that that's bad. They wanted things to be affordable for everybody, so they had affordable price points back in the day. With G.I.Joe Classified series, because they're 6-inch scale figures, 1/12. Well, even the quote unquote Rite Aid vehicles have to be expensive just by sheer size and all of the inflation and everything that we've dealt with over the years. But doesn't make it any less cool, doesn't make it any less nostalgic. And we're definitely going to get into it here in a bit. Back over to our driver. Driver comes with some familiar accessories, some less familiar accessories. And by some, I really just mean this submachine gun, which is one of the his tank accessories. It's got the magazine. That's pretty cool. Got your standard Uzi that comes with a few characters, mainly Snake Eyes. Your Beretta-ish pistol with the silencer. Another Snake Eyes weapon. No blast effect port. Come with your officer helmet, but it's red. and your nondescript face helmet, your light skin head, and equipped with the dark skin head right out of the box. So normally I like to split the difference there, but I think I'm going to rock the nondescript head on this figure. It could be anybody. Pop the little helmet on. Bada bing, bada boom. Looking pretty good. So the gun has a suppressor, but there's nowhere for her to store the suppressor. You can really just holster it. You probably could holster it with the suppressor in there, but how would you pull that out in real life? So that would be dumb. But I think it's cool. Like I said, because this is basically the ferret driver. I've kind of already gone over this figure, but I will show it with the ferret driver, I guess, just to make everybody happy that way, theoretically. Or theoretically not. But it's a nice package, a nice figure. We're going to go ahead and try and get her on the claw, see how that looks. Then maybe we'll put somebody else on the claw, see how that looks. Let me do that. Be right back. All right, so we got our claw and claw pilot successfully in the claw, harness on. You can actually tighten the harness up for larger characters, but we'll see what that does for the standing. But as you can see, looks pretty cool. You can fold down your wings. You got your pilot on there. Your blast effects on there, pretty cool. And it stands up well with this figure. Seems like almost like it's optimized for this size figure. But we're going to put somebody else in it. So let me do that. Be right back. All right, so we're back with Cobra Commander in the claw. And you can stand him up, but you have to give him, basically you have to give him kind of a wider leg stance so that the back aileron kind of things help act as a support for the standing. So the figure and the claw essentially are working together to stand. Obviously, Cobra Commander is larger than the female, but that's kind of how you have to make that work. And I went with Cobra Commander because, you know, the big thing, G.I.Joe, the movie, the opening, you know, can the world oppose deadliest of foes? He flies out with the claw. I don't know. I just don't think anybody will ever look better at a claw than that in that pretty much moment. So I went with Cobra Commander. But yes, it can be done. You can stand them with it. Might take a little bit of finagling, but you can do it. So I think that covers pretty much everything I want to cover. We're going to move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series number 152, Cobra Pilot and Cobra Claw Covert Light Aerial Weapon. I mean, the Claw, you know, again, when I was a kid, it was definitely like kind of a favorite. And as an adult, get all the nostalgia feels. I was glad I was able to successfully get a figure in there without having to resort to stands or anything like that for them to stand on. And yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool vehicle. The classified series vehicles are, are what they are. They're usually, straight representations of the original toy with a kind of an upgrade for the modern day. And the Claw's not any exception there. I like what they did with it. I'm super stoked to be able to play around with it. There's always the question of space with these things, but they actually kind of helped you out with that, even with the folding wings, so you don't have to deal with the full wingspan all the time. So I'm gonna give it away. I got a figure rank of 10. I just think it's I think it's great. It was definitely something. They haven't made any bad vehicles. They just haven't. It was something I was able to get. Like the Stinger being $100, I had to sort of skip that because I have a Vamp and I can't put everything everywhere. And I would love to get a Stinger, and I go back and forth with the Stinger, especially now that's like $80 in Walmart. But it just you can't buy everything, and I can't fit everything. So between those two things, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Either way, the claw itself is cool, and yeah, pretty happy to have it. So we'll be doing a full week of G.I.Joe Classified Series reviews, either next week or the following week, because I got a lot of G.I.Joe Classified Series, and the time goes on, they pile up, and new stuff comes out. I'm not going to be able to, to get to all of it before new stuff hits. I would like to do that, and at some point be at least somewhat current on these things. So, yeah, a one week event, GI Joe Classified Series catch up week coming up. Hope you guys will come by, check those videos out. But either way, thanks for watching, and till next time, everybody stay safe, happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.